Hey, welcome back everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jenny, I'm 62 and my husband passed away a few months ago, and so I'm trying to rebuild everything after we packed up our lives, moved across the world from New Zealand to Newfoundland. I had a topic for this week, but I've changed my mind. So like you, I was watching a YouTube video of someone that I follow, and I don't always agree with this person, but one of the things I really like is that post-COVID, I try and open myself to other people's perspectives and differing opinions. And I think it's really important that we have different opinions and that we're able to still disagree and carry on and be respectful of one another. So this video, it talked about downsizing and, cleaning out the clutter. And it sounded also practical and organized and entirely too cheerful. And it's an older couple that I was watching, and I'll be honest, I was surprised. I was very cross at how light and cheerful it sounded. Like it was just a let's go clean out the garage kind of thing. And the topic wasn't that at all. It was quite a serious topic. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was exactly that. Getting rid of things, especially someone else's things, is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And when you lose someone in this whole rebuilding, my power bill didn't cut in half, and my grocery bill certainly isn't half. It's less, but it's not half. And the dogs still need to be fed. They still eat the same amount. So decluttering or downsizing coupled with costs, I thought that was probably something that it's a hard topic. And I haven't seen very many people talk about it, at least in a way that I felt was authentic and genuine. So yeah, let's get into it. So, couples will talk about it, or even solos will talk about, I'm going to go out to the garage and I'm going to declutter and I'm going to downsize. It's probably okay when you're on the other side of 60, but when you're on this side of 60, those things have history and stories behind them, right down to something as ridiculous as a ball cap collection. I don't want it. Nobody else wants it, but I'm struggling to get rid of it. So you kind of look at that, or you're cleaning out the medicine cabinet and there's toothpaste, or there's aftershave, or there's a razor. These are all things that it's clutter. It's taking up space in the drawer. It's never going to be used again. It's the kind of stuff that nobody else wants and you just need to toss in the bin. But probably one of the hardest things that you can do. I have a friend who, she tells me all the time, oh, you're so resilient and you can do this and you've done very well. Maybe on the outside. Have I gotten rid of a lot of things? Yeah, I have. And the other night I was at an event and a man walked in and I looked at his shoes. He was wearing my husband's shoes. That was pretty hard. I gave those shoes away because they were pretty new. I think maybe they'd been worn once or twice. How do I know they were his? Because they were a brand from overseas that you can't get here. And I doubt very much, given where I live in Newfoundland, that people were buying rod and gun from New Zealand. So I saw those shoes. I really struggled to stay focused. So it isn't just a quick, let's go clean out the garage and these are life decisions. It takes a long time to accumulate that stuff. And while it may just be stuff, it's still hard to get rid of. I have people whose parents have passed away and who have an entire garage and attic full of their mother's things because they know that rolling pin was what she made cookies with them, that she rolled out dough, that they did those things together. It's just a rolling pin. It's only a $2 or $3 item. It's not the item. It's the life memory that it carries with it. So I don't have the answer for you. All I can tell you is that this video made me cross, and it is very hard to get rid of things. I remember when my husband and I went to his grandmother's place, and she's a lovely lady, and you walked in the door and you felt like her husband was imminently going to arrive, right down to the hairbrush in the guest bathroom with hair still in it. I remember at the time saying to my husband, that's creepy. You know, get rid of this stuff. The guy's gone. He's not coming back. That's youth and inexperience talking. That's somebody who hasn't walked in those shoes. And as someone who has walked in those shoes now, I can tell you, I understand why she kept it. It's not something I'm going to do, but I certainly have a lot more empathy for someone who has to walk that path. So what I would say to you is there is no magic timeline. And I think what you'll find is that you'll give some things away and later on you'll regret them, much like me in a pair of shoes. Other times you'll hold on to things and you'll think, it's a relief. So this whole grief and starting over and finding meaning with life, it's not linear. And I know people talk about, the whole grief thing. I'm probably a little more practical than maybe some, and not as practical as others. What I would say is do what makes sense to you and don't let others tell you to be on a timeline to this is what you're supposed to do. You need to get out more. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's really, really easy to sit back and be, an armchair coach, or I think I've got the saying wrong, but that sort of thing. It's not easy to separate a lifetime of memories. And then if you're the person who's left, you have that knowing that you don't want to leave that for someone else. I don't want my children to have to deal with some of this stuff. So now I'm thinking about things in a way that, okay, this brings me joy right now, but I really need to think about, is it something I'm going to keep forever? And that brings me to the second point, money. I have another friend who has a car. It's 5 years old. It's only got a few, 30,000 kilometers on it. Not very much at all. She's well and truly into her 70s, and she wants a sports car. But everybody in her life is convincing her that, it's not practical. You won't get very much money in trade-in on your car. Your car is perfectly good and it's fine. So what? Buy the car. You earn the money. If you can afford it, then do it. I watch a fair amount of YouTube and I talk to a lot of people now, and it's amazing how when you're in this situation, how many more people talk to you because I'm guessing, they think that you know. But people are getting to an age where they have a lot of money. And yes, you want to help your children, you want to help your family. By all means, do what you want with your money. But that's the whole point, is do what you want with your money. If you want to go on that trip and you don't want to sit in economy, don't. If you want a camper or you want something else, I see these things, don't buy a camper, you're going to lose money. So what? You can't take it with you. If it brings you pleasure for a year or 5 years and you can afford it, that's the key, is can you afford it? You're not going to end up eating cat food. Then get it. Do that thing you've always wanted to do. Don't be afraid. I'm looking for ways at the moment that I can save money and give back. I went back to work. I'm not finding a lot of meaning in that. So I'm looking for volunteer ideas and things that I really enjoy. I love gardening. So I took my own advice and I bought a greenhouse. It's coming in a few weeks. I'm excited about it. It's August. I can still get a bit of a winter crop in. I can grow carrots, I can grow Swedes, and I can grow kale. So those are all winter things that'll get me till Christmas. And then really I'm only looking at 3 months of buying overpriced vegetables and I can use frozen ones if I get enough of this. I like to save where I can and then do things that bring me pleasure. I think we've been taught our whole lives to be careful with money, to save for a rainy day. And those are things still true. But I think this is the point in life where you should be able to do something for yourself. You should take that trip or call that friend you haven't spoken to in a long time. And don't be embarrassed. If you want to talk to somebody, then give them a ring. Find them. Look them up the internet. You can find anybody. Just do it. I think it's Judi Dench and all of those people. You don't get to your deathbed going, geez, I wish I'd spent another day at work. Or what you want to do is hug someone. I had another conversation with someone this week who talked about a colleague of theirs who was just jerking them around. And I said to him, you're giving this person free rent in your head. And he said, you're right. I said, the person's gone. Who cares? Move on. You have to do some practical things because they've left you in the lurch. But you're being really overwrought about it isn't going to bring them back. And even if it did, they're not going to do a good job. He appreciated it. He liked the whole rent in the head thing. I thought that was kind of fun too. Almost made me feel smart. I guess this was 2 parts of a video this week. And I really thought that they kind of meshed together. Separating out your lifetime of items. I've sold a few things. I can't get up on a ladder. I'm scared to death. I can get up on a step stool, the second step, to change light bulbs, but I am never getting up on that ladder. I'm scared. I just can't do it. My knees, quite literally, I feel like I'm going to crumble. And I become paralyzed. So yeah, if you ever have to go with me and walk across a bridge, don't go with me. If you're relying on me to jump across 2 buildings, it's not going to happen. So am I selling the ladder? Yeah. I'm selling it and I'm putting some cash aside. I'm going to buy some dirt with it, to be fair. So if you think about it, those 2 things, they're the same question. What's your life worth? And what are you going to do about it? And who told you to shrink it? I don't know if you're a religious or a believer in God. I am. But if you're not, that's okay too. I think what's the thing that you're putting off doing? And why aren't you doing it? Put it in the comments. I'd really like to know. As I said, for me, I wanted the greenhouse. And it was expensive. But I'm going to do some good things with that greenhouse. I'm going to grow some vegetables. I'm going to go to the town hall to a council meeting. I'm going to talk about, those little library things at the end of people's driveways where, bring a book, borrow a book, take a book back, that kind of thing. I want to do that with vegetables. We did that in Gisborne, New Zealand. And I don't care who gets the food. I don't care. It doesn't take away from a food bank. But if you grow things in your backyard, you always have too many. Even after you give it away, can it, freeze it, eat it, you always have too much of one thing. Wouldn't it be great to just take it somewhere and just drop it and somebody else could use it? And if you had a little website that said, hey, I just dropped these off here, people could find it. School kids on the way home, they used to have in Gisborne oranges, because there's a lot of oranges, a lot of citrus there. I don't care if the homeless people get it. Good, they should. I don't care if kids on their way home from school get it. Awesome. I don't care if the millionaire is on their way to a meeting and they stop by and they think, yeah, I could go for a carrot. Let me just, good. Then the food's getting eaten and it's being shared. So that for me was partially why I wanted the greenhouse, and because it brings me joy and I think it's pretty. And after that video made me cross and the decluttering and trying to downsize, and I started to really think about the money and weigh up those 2 things. So for me, that's what I wanted to do. That was my important thing. What's yours? If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining. This outlet for me is really important, and I've had some really great comments. Sorry that I was a bit slow. I didn't think anybody was really watching. So thank you very much. I will get better at responding to comments, but I do enjoy it. Please subscribe. I'll see you next week.